Today we are making crepes. I am sharing how to make authentic crepes at home, sharing all the crucial points, all the tips and tricks to make it successful. So let's get started. First, add all the dried ingredients. Okay, so sugar goes in and salt. Give them a quick mix. And now we're gonna start adding liquid ingredients. So I usually like to add all the eggs at once before we add thin liquids like milk. And these eggs are a perfect amount to eliminate any flour chunks. Keep mixing until it looks very smooth. It feels very thick at the beginning, but it'll get smooth after you keep mixing. If you don't mix enough at this point, you might see chunks of flour in your finished crepes. So this is not done. I see that it's not completely smooth. Make sure to scrape off all the side and the bottom also to really make sure that you didn't miss any flours. By mixing well, gluten's in flour get stronger and create crepes that are not going to get teared up easily or break easily even when it is very thin. And mix right away. It shouldn't be extremely hot, just to make sure that we're not gonna cook eggs, but it's very warm so that it's not gonna get hardened before you finish mixing. And we're gonna add milk. Add about 1/3 first and mix well. At the very beginning, do not mix really fast because milk can spread everywhere. And again, scrape off the side and make sure that everything is even. And once it looks nice and smooth, you can add the rest of milk. And mix. So this is basically done and you can finish right here, but I like to add a splash of rum because rum makes everything so delicious. By adding this, it tastes more polished. You can add more if you love rum. So this amount is from one batch, but I just wanted to mention that after this, I actually made another batch. So you can see me cooking the double amount of crepes after this. So this is the pan I'm gonna use today. You can use any size you want, but make sure your pan is non-stick. In the past, I tried with a pan which was not non-stick and my crepes definitely sticked. So it is very important. Also prepare some melted butter for a frying pan. By coating a thin layer of melted butter, it helps to create nice caramelization and also helps preventing crepes from sticking to the pan. I like to heat up a pan with medium heat, just on the middle between 3 to 6 with this stove. When I try higher heat like 6, it gets caramelized too fast and I tend to burn the surface a little bit because I simply cannot catch up with the productions. Okay, so once the pan is heated enough, we pour the batter. With this 25 centimeter bottom pan, I like to pour a little less than 1/3 cup, like this much. That is just enough amount to create very thin crepes and still covers all around the surface. You can also use a ladle instead of a measuring cup. Lift up your pan right before you cook. This can prevent crepes from cooking up too fast before you spread the batter evenly. Now, when to flip is also a key because if you flip too early, you will not get enough caramelization on the surface and also it'll break easily when you touch or lift it up. So the easy way to see if it's done or not is paying attention to the edges. Once you start seeing nice golden color on the edges, that is the sign that you've got the same caramelization all around the surface. Then flip right away. There are so many ways to flip and I tried so many ways, but the way I find most easy is using 2 long chopsticks or any long sticks. First, place one closer to the edge about 2" or 5 cm away from the edge, and using the other chopstick, hang the edge over and lift it up. To take off your stick, roll it like this. You can take it away easily without dragging a crepe. And cook the other side for about 5 to 15 seconds, depending on the texture you like. Place your stick, hang the edge, lift, flip, and roll a stick to remove it. And when you feel you heated up your pan too much, simply set it aside to cool it down. So when you spread your batter, how you move your pan is very important. As you pour, shake your pan really well so that it can cover all around the surface. As you pour, shake well. And once you see that you covered all around, turn your pan 360 degrees and coat the very edge using the rest of batter. And I like to move my pan at least once or twice while I am heating to make sure that the heat is delivered evenly. When you flip, I do not recommend to insert your stick or spatula under the crepe because it can create drapes and they tend to stick together. The top side is sticky because it's not cooked yet. To flip by hands, you can also use gloves that are food safe. That way you can flip easily without sticks. Now, when the batter went beyond the circle like this, you can easily fix like this, only before it gets cooked slow. Once it gets cooked slow and get hardened, you cannot do that, but instead, in that case, you can just trim later. And mix your batter each time or sometimes to make sure that the flour is not synced on the bottom and everything is even. Also, I wanted to mention about if you should rest your batter before you cook, because some recipes require you to do that. I personally don't. Also, flours tend to sink on the bottom after some hours, so make sure to mix really well before you use. Ready, set, go! Now this is when your pan was not heated as much. You can spread the batter a lot easier, of course, and caramelization happens, but it doesn't look as fine as the ones with stronger heat. And this is when you heated your pan a little bit too much. You'll have a harder time spreading the batter all the way. It cooked up fast and I couldn't feel the hole, so when that happens, pour just a little bit to fill it and you can fix it easily. You also see small holes like this. This means eggs cooked up before the bubbles calm down. So that's the sign that your pan was very hot. But once you flip it, it still looks nice. You get more lacy, detailed caramelization like this. To take out a crepe from a pan, simply flip a pan and drop it. It is very hot, so if you cannot touch right away, you can do this while you are cooking the next crepe. I recommend you to use them right away for the best taste, but when you have to leave them in room temperature a little bit, rub the surface so that they're not gonna get dried. Now that I got lots of crepes, I could open a small crepe shop that night for my family. We enjoyed with whipped cream, strawberries, biscuits, and chocolate. I think it was a lot better with chocolate sauce instead of diced chocolate. Enjoy with any way you like, as crepe cakes, crepe juicette, crepe roll. I bet it'll be a big hit for your family and friends. My crepe is too thick. If you want to make it thinner, just like I explained earlier, how much you pour is very important. Do not pour too much. And how you spread is very important. You lift up your pan right after, and as you pour, move around your pan. And also, some of the recipe might contain less amount of liquids, less amount of milk, and because of that, the clay butter is thicker, and in that case I think it's also a little bit difficult to spread it really quick. My crepes are dried. Sometimes when you cook with low heat, by the time you get the caramelization, your crepe might get a little bit dried, which doesn't happen tons of times, but that could be one reason. And also, if your crepe doesn't contain any sugar, if you want to try, you can add some sugar in it. By adding sugar, of course, it gets sweeter, but also sugar has amazing effect as moisturizer. So you could try that. I just let them pile all the way, and that really also helps so that they're not gonna get dried. And if I don't use it right away, I usually cover it with plastic wrap all over the surface. Okay, so I'm gonna stop right here. I spilled all the tips and tricks that I could think of, but if you have any other questions, please let me know on the comment section below. If you like this video, please let me know, and subscribe if you haven't yet. And if you tried it at home, please let me know about how it turned out and how you enjoyed with your family and friends. Alright, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy pastry living, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.